I thank Father, the Most High, for saving my life. Listen. I grew up around fiends, a lot of kids died. Another homicide led to another mama crying. Every day, bodies piling up in that alleyway. But I prayed and the Father showed me a better way. I had visions in my sleep of me dying, going to hell. I was fornicating, smoking all the weed that they could sell. I got searched a couple times, but I ain't never went to jail. Me and my cousin stopped running through females like open mail, but I'm not proud of it. I wanted to change, but I couldn't because I was high from it. And my friends said I should, so I was being a follower. The proof was in the pudding. I got stopped by some demons in my dream, you know it's shook me. But it woke me up. I had to change my life. I got hit with a bottle in the club after the fight. I got shot at a couple times for being too nice. Then it never hit me. I was being too friendly. In the world full of space, I was the one getting bitten until the highest saved my life. Now I'm the man on the mission. Gotta cut out the vaccine because they hurting the children. Gotta change up a lifestyle because it ain't working well. Gotta put down the religion. False guys and they idols. Forget everything you thought you knew and go and pick up a Bible. Deuteronomy 28. I'm trying to say nothing like it. The curses he put on the shows that make you want to live righteous. But then I see we never listen though. We're spiritual beings, but only see the physical. We don't believe in our God, but do it rituals. Claim we let the Most High, but never listen when you tell us that He made us. We follow His commandments and without the Bible, it's just we get it. We the scripture. Ain't nobody gonna kiss us. Now they wanna be just like us, but it never really admit it. How we gonna lead a nation with the men out at the feminist? It's too emotional. What are we overdosing on? First they kill the man, they take them out the home. Gas up the women to leave them all alone without a father in the home. Kicking the door and terrorize your home. Martial law and telephones. People out tapping on phones all alone. Wanna know what every move tip is coming very soon. I seen it all in news. People just don't have a clue. We never rise up. We are not they fools. You're not African American. You sound like I'm a Jew. Born an Israelite. I got us very much alive. Some minutes printed out. So let them tell you otherwise. Time to rise. Have the love to victimize. You will be televised. Who really wanna die? Since while I'm still alive, you shot, you gave me life. I'ma live a sacrifice. A higher as my father and my mother. Help me sleep at night. I'm thankful for my brothers. I thank the Most High for guiding my mother. And it's true. When she made it to that one, I didn't know what to do. I'm just thankful that you chose me, no matter what I've been through. I wanna right my wrongs. I don't wanna end up on the news. I don't really wanna stop. I just pray that you keep us safe and change our minds. Straight and narrow. As sharp as the narrow. I'm glad you saved me from my sins. You know I have to let go. I'm no fool. No Isaiah. 1 and 3, I know who I am and who I'm supposed to be. Living in the last days. 2 Timothy chapter 3. Me out of way is lost sheep. Matthew 10 and 6. I load the clip. Smith versus after sick. No Hosea 4-6. But lack of knowledge is it. I thank my Abba. I thank God. I thank my mother. I thank Yeshaya for my life. All praises to the Most High for waking me up. We ain't African American. America, you just settled in. We those Israelites that the Bible speak of. Pick it up. Renew your mind. Don't waste no time. Yeah.
Shabbat Shalom, Facebook fam. Shabbat Shalom to all my people out on YouTube. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to week 6 of the manifestation of the so-called black man, or the so-called African American man. Tonight, I'd like to give all praise to a higher by Hashem Yeshaya, Rorawak. And for those of you not familiar with the Hebrew, that is all praise unto the Most High in the name of Christ, as well as the Holy Spirit. Once again, we'd like to welcome each and every one of you to week 6 of the manifestation of the so-called black man, of the so-called African American man, who is from the tribe of Judah. We know that you guys could have been anywhere in the world tonight. So due to the fact that you decided to join us, we do not take your time for granted. Shema Yasha Allah Haya, Allah Haya Nawa Haya Ka. Shema Yasha Allah Haya, Allah Haya Nawa Haya Ka. Shema Yasha Allah Haya, Allah Haya Nawa Haya Ka. Hear, O Israel. The Lord our God is one. We'd like to thank each and every one of you once again for joining us tonight. We know and appreciate that you could have been anywhere else tonight. So due to you fact that decided to join us, we do not take your time for granted. We pray and hope all is well with your families. Pray and hope that you had a wonderful week. And just pray and hope that tonight you came on and in a place of spirit of love, a spirit of humility, and with an open mind to hear what thus says the Most High. With everything that's been going on, ladies and gentlemen, We're seeking the Most High this week for a word to bring across to the people. And he decided to bless us with this word that we're going to be releasing tonight. And to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to be something that many of you don't already know. You understand? It's not going to be, breaking news type of message, but I pray that it be one. I pray that it be one that will be as a reminder, um, will be as one as a spark. You understand? One that will be as a um, to light a fire up under you, because for many of us, life has begun us to make us stagnated. And it's not something that we intend to do. You understand? It's just things that happens from time to time. Shabbat Shalom, Minister Stone. Good seeing you on with us. Shabbat Shalom, Ms. Tolbert. Good seeing you on with us tonight. So it's not something that we set out to do, but it's something that happens from time to time, that we get stagnant in life. We get stagnated with our problems. We get stagnated with a sense of, you understand, hopelessness and adversity that we're facing. So sometimes we get to the point where we start to get a little stagnated. But before we go into the lesson tonight, Shabbat Shalom, Lisa. Good seeing you on this tonight. Before we go on, get started tonight, I have a quick announcement. Shabbat Shalom, Swana. Good seeing you on with us tonight. We are coming upon the second session of our Black History According to the Bible, this Sunday at 3 p.m. And we're just going to be located at Piney Grove Church of God in Wadesboro, North Carolina. That is 6151 Ansett. I'm about to get my 6151 Highway 109 North. That is 6151 Highway 109 North, and that is in Wadesboro, North Carolina. Now, last Sunday, we got started out with it in a very good fashion. We had some pastors come out. We had some young people come out. We had older folks come out. We had middle-aged people out. It was really a blessing to see the enthusiasm and the willingness of the peoples to hear what we had to say. You had people who had predominantly spent the most of their time in the Christian church. You had some people that was there that had, kind of grew weary with the Christian church and had kind of moved away from it for years. You understand? You had all types of people from all walks of life there, and it was kind of refreshing just to have that type of conversation in the midst of that diverse crowd. And so we was really excited about it, and we made a lot of good progress. And so we're going back in this Sunday with an understanding of knowing that it's going to go up to the next level. So I'm pleading with the pastors. I'm pleading with the community leaders. I'm pleading with youth leaders to come out to give us a chance and allow the Most High to show you who you really are. We leave the discussion open for questions. We give detailed biblical, secular, as well as historical information that will allow you to understand that this is not our point of view or our opinion, but this is the actual facts of what's going on, and you will understand fully who you are before you came to this country and received the new identification and culture. You understand? And so, like I said, we're going to be going to the second session, and we just want to see what the Most High is going to do. So make sure you join us. If you're in the North Carolina area, South Carolina area, join us next Sunday at 3 p.m. Next Sunday at 3 p.m. for the second session of Black History According to the Bible. Now, I put those links into those who are watching with us on YouTube. If you send me a message and you're in the area and you would like to come out, send me a message and we'll make sure that you get there as well. For those who were not with us last Sunday, tomorrow we will make the first session of the videos available. But we're not posting the videos immediately because we want people to come out, and we don't want to, because that way you come out, you're engaging in the conversation, you get your questions answered, and we want you to bring people with you. So this is not something that needs to be strictly just watched. This is something that you need to be involved in. You know what I'm saying? This is a movement. The spirit's in the building, and people, we need to come together on one accord. So I pray and hope that you guys will come out and learn what thus says the Most High. And I promise you, even if those who are already understanding who you are, we did have Israelites come out, which was truly a blessing. Those who understand who they are, and they were stating to us that, you know, just to get more information to be able to pass on to family members was a good thing as well. So, you know, just come and see what we have. Come, you know, give us a chance, and I promise you, you won't be disappointed. Shabbat shalom, Teaser. Good seeing you with us tonight. Shabbat shalom, Tyree. Good seeing you on with us tonight. So we're really excited about it, and we pray and hope that you guys will come in and hear us out. For those who are coming on YouTube, please hit the like button for us. We appreciate it. We're trying to get this thing spread out through YouTube as well. Now, tonight's lesson is entitled, ladies and gentlemen, "We Are Not the Same." Tonight's lesson is entitled, "We Are Not the Same." Now, I know many of you, when you hear a lesson such as that, with that title, you may think that this is a lesson coming from a spirit of arrogancy, a prideful perspective, but it's not. Tonight, the Most High wants to remind his sons and daughters that you are not the same as the other nations. And the reason that you're not the same is because he chose your fathers to make you a special people above all people. And we're going to go into that in a second. But what we're bringing this out for is that quite too often we're seeing our people compromising. We're seeing our people desiring to be connected and to be involved, excuse me, y'all, with the things of the Gentiles. And we are constantly want to look at ourselves and who we are as a people as second class, not good enough. You understand? And so we're going to talk about that tonight. And one of the things that I need people to understand is that a people that was designed to be different than everyone should have never sought to be treated like everyone else. You understand? I'm going to say that again. A people that was designed to be different than everyone else should have never sought to be treated like everyone else. You understand? So the fact of the matter that we were designed to be different should have let us know that we were never going to be treated like everyone else. And what people don't understand is that what has been directed towards our people, many people felt that these things was coming from a spirit of hate, but really it was coming from a spirit of jealousy. And you have to understand that hate and jealousy is two different things. It's not the same thing. Now, a jealous person can lead you to hate someone, but it's not necessarily when jealousy is your fuel that it's necessarily built upon hate. It's built on the simple fact that I wish I was you. You understand? So we're going to talk about that tonight because I don't think that Israel has fully figured that out, even though some of us may understand who we are. You know, so even, you know, we're you know, I heard this dude say, you know, we want the blessing of Israel, but we're still trying to be Jake. You understand? We're still trying to be Jake. And this is the problem. And we got this message. We've been talking about it for a while that we're going to release coming up on the new year, called From Jacob to Israel to the Remnant. And I'm just letting this message marinate because that's what we're going to drop coming into our new year, March the 7th sundown. From Jacob to Israel to the Remnant. This is the journey that we must take. So we're going to talk about that tonight in the lesson entitled "We Are Not the Same." So let's start out tonight in Deuteronomy 12. Let's start out. This is going to be our foundation scriptures. The first two precepts will be the foundation tonight. Deuteronomy 12. And I know my deacon is going to laugh at this, but we're not going to really be before you long tonight because we're praying to to give you some things to think about. So we're going to kind of try to move through these things pretty fast. We're going to do a lot of precepts. So if you don't have a pencil and pad right now, make sure you grab that out. Make sure you grab that because we're going to do a lot of precepting to bring full understanding. What we need you guys to see is the significance of who you are, not from a place of pride, but a place of responsibility. You understand? Deuteronomy 12, Deke. And let's read verses 28 through 32. We are not the same. Deuteronomy 12, let's start at verse 28.
Observe and hear all these words which I command thee,
Right?
that it may go well with thee and with thy children.
Read that. I'm sorry, D. Read that. Start it again. Read that again.
Observe and hear all these words which I command thee,
Right?
that it may go well with thee and with thy children after thee forever.
So right here, right out the gate, we must understand here that Moses is telling us what it is that he is giving us here with the statutes and the commandments. This is not we don't have a choice in the matter, is what I'm saying here. Okay? This is our lifeline. And what happened was, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to be talking about this, throughout this lesson, building upon this one simple fact, that we allowed the Gentiles to tell us how to serve our God. This is what an underlying problem is. That once we allowed the Gentiles to tell us how to serve our God, we only paid for it while they continued to prosper. It's kind of like from the perspective of when you was growing up as a child and your parents had one set of rules and your friends' parents had another set of rules. And when you were living your life and making your choices based on your friends' options, you paid the cost. Because they could go and break curfew and nothing happened. They could come in with bad grades and nothing happened. They could disrespect and talk back and nothing would happen. But when you did those things, you paid dearly for it. You understand? So this is what we have to understand, ladies and gentlemen. Read that again, what he says from the top, verse 28, Deuteronomy 12.
Observe and hear all these words which I command thee,
right?
That it may go well with thee and with thy children after thee forever.
Forever, go ahead.
And thou doest that which is good and right in the sight of the Lord thy God.
Y'all see that? So this is what the Most High told us here, that if we did these things, it will go well with us and our children that come after us forever. Now, ladies and gentlemen, clearly something has been missing. Because it has not gone well with us, and it has not gone well with our children. And this has seemed like it's been forever. For long as we've known, things have not been going well. You understand? Now, watch this. Verse 29.
When the Lord thy God shall cut off the nations from before thee, whither thou goest to possess them, and thou succeedest them, and dwellest in their land. Take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them.
So, right here, the Most High said, listen, as I begin to move those that are against you out of the way, take heed that you don't live as they do, because he called it what? A snare, a trip, a trap. What do we call our communities now? The trap. What do we call the music that they listen that comes out of those communities? Trap music. Who owns those companies, those record labels? It ain't us. See that? Read that again, Deep, right there from verse 20, from verse 30. Read that. He says what?
Take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them.
Right.
After that they be destroyed from before thee, that thou inquire not after their gods, saying, how did these nations serve their gods?
So this is us, ladies and gentlemen. Coming off the slave plantation, and saying, yo, how you say you do Christmas? What is the menu that we're supposed to do for Thanksgiving? Oh, so you say we're supposed to put Easter eggs out and do Easter egg hunts and the Easter bunny. This is our ancestors doing this. This is our people talking about, listen, show me how it is that this new age stuff works. Tell me about yoga, man. Put me on to meditating to Buddha. Read that again, Deacon, verse 30. He says what?
Take heed to thyself that thou be not snared by following them.
Right.
After they be destroyed from before thee, that thou inquire not after their gods, saying, how do these nations serve their gods? Even so will I do likewise.
And then say, yo, let me put me on to what it is that you're doing, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I know Mormonism told me for years that my skin was representation of being, damned by God. But now that this guy passed the law and passed a new judgment saying I'm accepted now, hey, let's go in. I know that when I tried to join the Masons, that you didn't allow me in. Okay, we're going to come up and we're going to start a new division of it and call ourselves Masons as well. Right? Okay? I know the Democrats were the ones who enslaved me, but I'm gonna put my trust in them because they're gonna help me. They're gonna make a difference in my life now. We're gonna be Democrats now. You see how this works? I'm gonna do that too. Watch this. Verse 31.
Thou shalt not do so unto the Lord thy God, but every abomination to the Lord which he hateth, have they done unto their God.
You see that, ladies and gentlemen? I don't think that's registered. I don't think most of our people fully understand that. And that's the problem. We are not the same. And most of our people have not grasped that. Because predominantly in the Christian church, you don't hear talk about gods, the plural word gods. You just hear God. I saw an article just today where it was written by a Christian pastor talking about Christianity and Islam is serving the same God. And the name of the article was All Roads Lead to the God. And I was right. You're right. You're exactly right. So when you have Christians believing that another religion is serving the same God as you don't find a problem with that? Then what is the point of being a Christian? What is the point of following Christ when he said, John 14:6, I'm the way, the truth, and the light. No man comes to the Father unless he comes by me. But yet you saying a Muslim is following the same God and he don't have to accept Jesus Christ. Right? Then you got our brothers and sisters now. It's like, well, listen, we don't want to deal with white Jesus, so we're going to get back to the African gods. Well, little do you know, ladies and gentlemen, that those so African gods that you're talking about, those guys was part of the reason that you end up in captivity that you're in right now. Because those Hamites, those other Africans that you don't know, you think they're your brothers and sisters, was the ones who sold you in slavery to the white man. Who was sacrificing you and your children to their gods. But you didn't know that. So your Yoruba, your Kemet gods, all of your African, your nature gods that you're talking about invoking now, the Gentiles sacrificed your children, our ancestors, to them as they enslaved us. But you're saying we need to get back to that. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been deceived. We are not the same, ladies and gentlemen. And until we grasp that, we're going to continue to go around this perpetual mountain over and over and over, having the same conversations. Our people love real talk, but they hate truth. They love real talk. but they hate truth. And as a result, nothing is never going to change in our community because the only thing real talk does lead to good conversation. It will lead to great debates and it will lead to great posts where it gets shared and liked, but it will never promote change. The only thing that brings change is truth. You understand? Read the rest of that, D, verse 31. Watch this.
Which he hated have they done unto their God.
Right?
But even their sons and their daughters they have burnt in the fire to their God.
Y'all see that? Everybody want to talk about that our children was used as gator bait. But ladies and gentlemen, what you don't know is that the white man didn't start that. The Egyptians did. So for all you guys that talking about this Kemet and hotel stuff, you don't even know what you're giving honor to was the first ones to enslave and kill and sacrifice your ancestors. Watch this. Verse 32.
What things soever I command you, observe to do.
So whatever I tell you in this law, observe to do it. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not add thereto.
You can't add to it, and you can't take away from it. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not the same. We're not playing by the same rule book as everyone else. We are not the same. Now, let's go, for those who don't have an Apocrypha, if you have a separate laptop, phone, or tablet, go to Google and put in First Maccabees. This is how you spell it. You put the number 1, you put M-A-C-C-A-B-E-E-S. You put the number 1, M-A-C-C-A-B-E-E-S, chapter 1. I'll get a couple verses out there, but I want you to keep that separate phone, laptop, or phone handy because we're going to be in the Apocrypha throughout the night. I want you to get First Maccabees, the 1st chapter. I need you to hold it and get Isaiah, the 5th chapter, ready. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not the same. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, what has happened over time is what has happened over time is that a lot of our people, as they've been waking up, they've been only pushing this idea that we're not the same as to belittle others, to make fun of others, to exalt themselves. I need you guys to know this is not what we're talking about tonight. This has nothing to do with pride. This is just the pure facts. And we must understand that we have to govern ourselves according to the fact that we are not the same. You understand? So just get First Maccabees, the 1st chapter. I need you to hold that and get Isaiah 5 ready. Now here in First Maccabees, ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't know anything about history, this is talking about the time where our ancestors, the country of Judea, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, went into captivity for the Grecians, under the Grecians. You understand? The Greeks up under they called Alexander the Greek began to take down the countries, and Israel, Judea, was one of the countries in which was conquered during this time. This is the 3rd captivity that is mentioned in the book of Daniel. You know what I'm saying? When you see that leopard, this was talking about the Grecians, right? So, and here, as well as the 1st and 2nd captivity, Babylon and Persia, some of our people felt that it was the best thing to do was to come in and to partner with heathens and to do the things of heathens because they thought that this was going to be the best way to be successful. Kind of like what you see today. Now I'm going to parallel this because I'm going to show you that there's nothing new under the sun. And when our people forgot that we are different, that we are not the same, it led to our demise, which is what's leading to our demise today. First Maccabees, D. And let's start there at verse 11. Watch this.
In those days went there out of Israel wicked men,
Hold on. Let's not smooth past that. Read that again. Let me put emphasis on who went out of Israel and who was doing it.
In those days, there out of Israel wicked men.
Wicked men did this. Go ahead.
Who persuaded many, saying, "Let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow."
Now, so right now in this country, there are different people, so-called leaders of our community, that are constantly telling our people, we need to go and make deals. We need to go and get a part of political organizations. We need to go sit down, we need to be in the room. Now, and in other conversations, we'll say the same government, the same groups, the same religions, the same churches, the same organizations are killing us, poisoning us, destroying us, not caring nothing about us. On one hand, in one conversation, but then our leaders, the so-called leaders, will say, well, I just feel like I needed to be in the room. For what? Be in the room for what? Only thing that's being discussed in that room is your demise. If you're not airing up the room, then what are you there for? Right? But I need you to understand who is the one telling us to do it. Who did that deed? Read that again. It says what?
In those days, there out of Israel wicked men.
Wicked men. See, the problem is, ladies and gentlemen, is because through the religions of this world today, anybody can be deemed good, positive, or righteous. But Psalms 142 says that the righteousness of the Most High is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is truth. So that means if you're not walking in the Most High righteousness, which is covered by the blood of his Son, Yeshua HaMashiach, who the world known to be Jesus the Christ, and keeping his law, statutes, and commandments, according to the Most High, you're wicked. Period. It's no defining, man. It's no in between there. It's not a gray area there. But that's not how the world sees it. So they'll deem a guy as a good guy, and he'll go off and try to tell us we need to be part of this. You need to vote for this guy. You need to support this organization. You need to do this. But they have an agenda. But if we understood that we were not the same, then we would know that we can't be involved in everything. We can't be connected to everybody. We can't be affiliated with every organization. Watch this, verse 12.
So this device pleased them well.
Let's go make a covenant with the heathen. Let's sit down at the board. Let's sit down. Let's sign some agreements. Let's implement some statuses. Let's bring Planned Parenthood and put it into the communities. And let's see what Planned Parenthood is going to do for us. When the creator of Planned Parenthood said, I'm creating this organization to weed out, just choke out the weeds of society, the black man. But let's just hear him out. Watch this, verse 13.
And certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen.
Sound familiar? Sound familiar, ladies and gentlemen? We're going to place this guy in this political position. We're going to give this guy this title. We're going to give this guy CEO of this organization, and we're going to put this guy as this person, and we're going to give him this title. And our people celebrate it as a success. But is it? Look at what happened as a result of the king giving licenses to do these things to the heathen. Watch this. Verse 14.
Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen.
That was the Olympics. Now, that was the Olympics. What people don't realize is that during this time, the Olympics, you had to be completely nude. That was completely against the law of the Most High. These Gentiles, these heathens said, listen, you had to go out there butt naked, and you had to go and compete, run up and down, and do all these little things butt naked. Don't don't ESPN the magazine has a cover that they do every year where athletes go and be butt naked to take pictures of? I'm telling you, there's nothing new under the sun. And our people were deeming as a success. Look at this guy. Oh my God, he got picked for this right here. Look how great his body is because he got picked for this. Look how great it is. This is such an honor for this woman to go and put in this magazine to be butt naked and it be in the Bod magazine. It's the same thing. Same people. Me and my brothers was talking today. Now, not as we always do as a policy here at A Better Day Ministries, we don't mention names. Many of you will know what I'm talking about here. A prominent, historically Black university has made a decision to leave a historical Black conference today to go to a Gentile conference. During Black History Month. Ladies and gentlemen, everything that we have celebrated, we must realize that the Gentiles had one agenda for this. We thought it was a come up when they said, Jackie Robinson, come hit baseballs for us, or come play football, or this college is going to allow this basketball player. That wasn't a come up. That was a downgrade. Because if all of our guys was at HBCUs, what do you think the sponsors would be? Do you realize, if you think making this up, do your research, that during the height of the so-called Negro Leagues, their ratings and their ticket sales and their crowds was much bigger than their rivals. Because those guys who hated them and called them niggas and all kind of stuff still came to their games because they know what the talent was. You got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, we are not the same. And they recognize this. But look at what happened as a result. Once we took the deal, look at what happened as a result. Verse 14, verse 15.
They made themselves uncircumcised.
And now, as a result of being connected to the heathen, now you're no longer doing the things that the Most High said to do. Read it again. He says what? Made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant. You see that? And was sold to do business. Sounds familiar? Now, I wanted to just bring this out, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm charging you to read the rest of this chapter because we don't have time to go into all this and break this down. I just want you to think about what I'm about to say here. As soon as our people, the leaders, took these deals, Greece left for a while. And then they came back and they destroyed everything. Sounds familiar? Our communities was doing well on their own, well before civil rights came. Our leaders went out and took the deals. Look at the communities now. Because the Most High is saying to us, you are not the same. And I will not protect you if you don't do what I tell you to do. Watch this. Let's go to Isaiah 5 and let me show you what I'm talking about. We are not the same, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to Isaiah 5. Watch this. Isaiah 5, Deacon. Let's start there at verse 1.
Now will I sing to my well-beloved a song of my beloved touching his vineyard. Well-beloved have a vineyard and a very fruitful hill.
Mm-hmm.
And he fenced it and gathered out the stones thereof and planted with the choicest vine,
Mm-hmm.
and built a tower in the midst of it,
Mm-hmm.
and also made a winepress therein. And he looked that it should bring forth grapes, and brought forth wild grapes.
But it brought forth wild grapes. So the Most High is describing here this beautiful, beautiful vineyard that he planted. He built a tower to protect it. He built a wall around it. He put all the water and the nourishments and everything there in order for it to be a successful and productive and prosperous plant. But instead of producing the fresh grapes, it produced wild grapes. It was grapes, but it wasn't the grapes in which you can utilize. So, ladies and gentlemen, what does that mean? That there's some things that are coming out of our communities that people will celebrate. There are some things that will come out of our communities that people will be able to utilize and what's the word I'm looking for? Sustain themselves off of. But it's not what's supposed to be coming out. So you have a guy who has a gift of writing and a gift of producing music, and he will get rich. But that music don't glorify his God that gave him the talent. You have a guy with different athletic and physical abilities that will make it to these sports, make it to heights, all heights in sports. But his life that he lived won't glorify the Most High who gave him the talent. You have a beautiful sister who is just given all types of beauty and has all type of doors opening everywhere she go. But the life that she lives and the image that she puts off won't give glory to the Most High who gave her the beauty. You'll have a man with all type of intellect and strength and gifting and knowing how to put things together and make something prosperous. But the life that he lives and what he uses his talent to further won't give glory to the person who gave to the Most High, who gave him the actual ability, who gave him the intellect, who gave him the wisdom. So there's a lot of things that will come out from us. A lot of the things that people are mentioning all this month as these great accomplishments, which they are, but how has it furthered us as a community? How has it furthered and been light pointing back to the Most High? It's the question that we need to ask ourselves. Watch this. Verse 3.
And now, O inhabitants of Jerusalem and men of Judah, judge, I pray you, betwixt me and my vineyard.
So he said, listen. So now the Most High is putting the emphasis back on us. He said, listen, I need you to look at me and I need you to look at the vineyard. Do they look like they came from the same? Are they looking like one is connected to the other? So I need you guys to ask yourselves, look at your lives, look at your family lives, look at your communities where you come from, look at your cities, look at your churches. Do they look representative of the Most High Yah? What do they look like? Who do they represent? What do you see when you see us? That's what we need to ask ourselves. When you see the churches, who do they look like they follow? When you see all of our beautiful women that are in our communities, that are on television, that are on social media, who do you say they serve? We are not the same. But yet now we're looking like everybody else. Watch this. Verse 4.
What could have been done more to my vineyard that I have not done in it?
The Most High was saying, what is it that I could have done more for my children? What more could I have given them? What more could I have provided for them? What more doors could I have opened? What more Red Seas did I need to split for them to be everything that God designed them to be? Watch this. Go ahead.
Therefore, when I looked at it to bring forth grapes, brought forth wild grapes.
Everything my children needed, I gave them, but what I asked of them, they couldn't give it to me. See, this is the problem, Israel. We're sitting around talking about the white man, but ain't nobody making us do what we're doing but ourselves. You understand? The Most High said, I set my children up to produce this, and this is what I got. Watch this. Watch this. Verse 5.
And now go to, I will tell you what I will do to my
He said, you know what? I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do in my vineyard now. Go ahead. I'm going to tear down that wall that I built to keep people out. Go ahead. All the protection, everything that I gave to defend it so that it wouldn't be destroyed, I'm taking it away. Why would I do all of this? Why would I give everything to something that's not given back to me? Watch this. Verse 6.
And I will lay it waste, it shall not be pruned nor digged, but there shall come up briars and thorns, and I will also command the cloud that they rain no rain upon it.
Come on, man. So he's saying, you know what? Since you guys got it, you don't need me, because I know that what I gave you don't produce wild grapes. You didn't get that from me. So evidently, whatever this source that you're connected to that produced wild grapes, it wasn't my rain, so I'm not sending my rain no more. It wasn't my pruning and my fertilizing, so I'm not going to do that no more. Because my pruning and my fertilizing, my water, my rain, my protection would have gave another fruit, but all I got was this. So you got it. That's what Mosiah is saying. You got it. I'm going to show you that you're not the same. Watch this. Watch this. Verse 7.
For the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel.
Read it again.
For the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel.
Now it's the whole entire world, man. Everybody. It's the house of Israel. Go ahead. Right? He looked for the judgment that I gave, and what they got was oppression. That ain't what I signed up for. And what else?
For righteousness, but behold the crime.
But he looked for righteousness, and all we doing now is crime. Watch this. For a second time, let's go down to verse 11. Watch this.
Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink, that continue until night, till wine and flame.
Read it again, D. Listen, I'm showing you right now, ladies and gentlemen, that what we as deemed as part of our culture is not who we are. That's what we do in the hood, right? Read it again.
Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink, that continue until night, till wine and flame.
When I stayed in Winston-Salem, there's a dude from our hood we used to call No Bag. We gave him this nickname called No Bag. Because every time we saw him, he had a 40 with no bag on it. Nothing to protect. He just walked around the hood with a 40. We called him No Bag. It didn't make a difference what time of day it was. He had a 40 in his hand. And we knew it wasn't the same because you could see him, it would be halfway, and you could see him in a couple hours, it'd be right back filled up. Early in the morning, you be out early in the morning, you'll see No Bag. You come through late on the afternoon, No Bag got another 40. Mid-evening, another 40. Late night, standing outside, it's dark, another 40. No Bag. Raise up early in the morning. And they say that's just the hood way. But the Most High said what?
Woe unto them that rise up early in the morning, that they may follow strong drink, that continue until night till wine and flame.
You see that? All of these things that we have accredited to the hood way and the black way and the thug way, this ain't got nothing to do with us. We are not the same. Watch this, verse 12.
And the harp and the viol and the tabret and pipe and wine are in their feasts.
And see, they got everything. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to make this clear. This just ain't talking about people in the world. This is also talking about the so-called Black and African American church. Because they got the choirs, they got the musicians, they got the sound stage with the lights and everything. Most people nowadays are going to church not for a word, but you're going for the show, for the concert. So you got all this stuff in their feast, but watch this.
But they regard not the work of the Lord.
But they regard not the work of the Most High. After they had a concert, they preach a sermon and say the law is done away with. After they sing, run, and dance and jump up and down on the tables, they tell the people, yo, it doesn't matter. You can live any kind of way. Jesus still loves you. They do a Christmas celebration and an Easter celebration and a Thanksgiving celebration. But when the Passover comes, they were going not to work in the Most High. Go ahead.
Neither consider the operation of his hands.
Neither consider the operation of his hands. Where did they get that from? Watch this. Go ahead.
Therefore, my people are gone into captivity.
Read it again.
Therefore, my people are gone into captivity.
You want to know why? You want to know why every day is a new person shot? You want to know why our young people are dying? You want to know why our communities look the way they look? You want to know why our homes look the way they look? We're reading it. We're not the same, ladies and gentlemen. You know what bores me, Dick? Is every time we start having conversations about the sin and the lawlessness in our community, someone brings up the white man. Talking about, what about what the white man doing? So you can sell dope. You can rape, molest, and do the women in the manner that you do. But your kickback to that, your clap back to that is what the white man did during slavery. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, we are not the same. And I'm gonna drive that throughout this lesson tonight. I'm gonna make it clear. Doing what they call Black History Month. When y'all get through with your post and your this year, and then that you didn't know facts, all of that's gonna be over in a minute. But the same problems and everything that we got is not going to be changed by a couple of hidden facts, a couple of did you knows. This is what you need to know. You know what I'm saying? This is Black history. This Black history is what led up to the Black presidents. And because our people are not aware of this history, everything is still repeating itself. You got people right now talking about some Egyptian gods as if like our people wasn't doing that 1,000 years ago. You trying to act like it's some new understanding. I look at the brother of the day, this dude telling me about some Osiris, Ra, and Isis as if this was something new. This was put up when the Most High defeated them 3,500 years ago. And you talking about this like this is a new revelation. When these brothers come out here talking about Hotep, don't even know that Hotep was Joseph. But you won't even, you'll deny that you're an Israelite and want to be Kemet, but you're giving props to an Israelite. When you're quoting Egyptian science and math, not knowing that our father Abraham is the one who taught the Egyptian the science and math that you brag about. You understand? Don't even realize when you start talking about these African gods and traditions and all of this madness that they doing over in Africa, don't even know that this is what led to us being in captivity and ending up over here in this country in slave ships. And you want to get back to the same thing that put us in captivity. We need to get back to that. You can go ahead back to it, brother. You can have it. I'm getting back to the God that brought us out of Egypt, so I can get out of this Egypt. Read that again, Isaiah 5 and 13. Watch this. Right? Because they have what? Because they have no knowledge. These people that we have elected and empowered and exalted to be the leaders don't even know the Most High. But we call them honorable leaders. Blind leaders of the blind is what Yeshua called them. Watch this. Verse 14.
Therefore, hell has enlarged herself.
Listen to this. Listen to us, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to the Spirit of the Most High tonight. Read that again.
Therefore, hell has enlarged herself.
So when you sit up around here and talk about what the white man is going to happen to the white man for what they done to us, ladies and gentlemen, right here in Isaiah, the white man hadn't came yet. Let me put that out there. Edom had not came yet. But yet, hell has enlarged itself. And it wasn't because of a white man. It was because of us. Because our job, ladies and gentlemen, was to take the people from the snares of the devil. And when we turn and start doing the devilish things, all the people that we was designed, that we was authorized to take out of hell, to take out of the grasp of Satan, now going that way. Our people have got this thing messed up. When you're looking at this thing, oh, I'm an Israelite, I'm an Israelite. Yeah, the Most High saying, yeah, I sent you down there to raise up the Israelites and be a light to the Gentiles, and you're becoming a Gentile. We got it twisted. We got it twisted. We are not the same. And as a result of us trying to be like everybody else, read verse 14 again. It says what? Uh-huh. And open her mouth without measure. Go ahead. You see that? What we're glorifying in, what we're bragging about, what we post on social media about, what we take so much glory in is what's destroying us. Let's precept that. Let's bring that down even more. Go to Proverbs 1. Watch this. Watch this. Let's break that down even more. Let me show you exactly what we're talking about here. Watch this. Proverbs 1. And give me 32 and 33. Watch this.
The turning away of the simple shall slay them.
You see that? So the simple who don't really understand what's going on, but you're going with everything that tickled your fancy, what has it done, Deke?
The turning away of the simple shall slay.
It shall slay them. Go ahead. And the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. So, ladies and gentlemen, because the enemy is allowing our people to get money in this foolishness, it is convincing them that what they're doing is right. Because you're returning into a social media celebrity and what they call social media influencer, because all your people say, oh man, that dude deep. Oh man, she's so real. You don't even understand that prosperity is destroying you. We are not the same. As long as you keep trying to be like everybody else and do what everybody else is doing, we will continue to be destroyed. Now, let's go to Sirach 17. Let's make this thing even deeper. Let's go to Sirach 17. And I hope you guys, like I said, I hope you guys got your pens and pads, because we got to do a lot of precepting out of here to show you what we mean by this. We are not the same. Sirach 17. So for those who don't have an apocrypha, grab your separate laptop, phone, or tablet, and go back to Google and put in SIRACH, and put chapter 17 in. All right. Sirach 17, D, and let's start there at verse 1.
The Lord created man of the earth and turned him into it again.
Right. Hold on. Let's read that again.
The Lord created man of the earth,
right,
and turned him into it again.
So what he's saying is this: go back to Genesis 2. The Most High formed the body, and he made man a body from the dirt. And then when man died, man's body returns back to the dirt. So you go from ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I want to make sure that was clear. Verse 2.
He gave them 3 days and a short time, and power also of the things therein.
Right.
He endued them with the strength by themselves, and made them according to his image.
Right.
He put the fear of man upon all flesh, and gave him dominion over beasts and fire.
Right.
They received the use of the 5 operations of the Lord.
Right.
In the 6th place he had imparted them understanding, and in the 7th speech and interpreter of the cognations thereof.
You know, when he's talking about that word consultations, means talking about the deeper things, to be able to break things down that's going on around them. That's what the Most High gave us. That made us higher than the animals. Go ahead.
Counsel and a tongue, and eyes, ears, and a heart gave he them to understand. Withal, he filled them with the knowledge of understanding, and showed them good and evil.
Now, I just want y'all to understand right here that the Most High here is describing all men. This is all men and women right now. You're going to notice a shift in a minute. But right now, remember tonight's lesson's entitled, We Are Not the Same. So you got to understand, right here, when we started from verse 1 to where we're going right now, he's talking about everybody. But you're going to see a shift in a minute. Watch this. Where we at? Verse 8. Go ahead.
He set his eye upon their hearts. He might show them the greatness of their works. He gave them to glory in his marvelous acts forever.
Right.
That they might declare his works with understanding.
Now, watch this.
And the elect shall praise his holy name.
Now, there's a difference. Read that again, D.
And the elect shall praise his holy name.
The elect, not everybody, shall praise his holy name. And you're gonna see this in a minute. Who is the elect and who isn't? So the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, you must understand that we are not the same is because most people in the world are just saying God. And you're going to see why in a minute. Read that again, Deacon says what?
And the elect shall praise his holy name.
Go ahead.
Beside this, he gave them knowledge and the law of life for inheritance.
Y'all see that? He's not talking about everybody no more. Now he's talking about the elect. What did he give the elect, Deacon? Verse 11? He gave them knowledge and the law of life for an heritage. He didn't give this to everyone. He only gave it to the elect. Watch this. Verse 12. With who? right?
and showed them his judgment.
Now, let's go make it clear who them are, who the elect are. Let's go to Psalms 105 first. Let's go to Psalms 105 first. Let's go to Psalm 105 first. Right? Watch this. Psalms 105, and let's start at verse 6 through 10. Notice, in the beginning, he was talking about what he did for everyone, but he shifted when he got to the elect. Psalms 105, verse 6 through 10. Watch this.
O you seed of Abraham.
Oh, you who?
O you seed of Abraham.
Right.
His son.
Mm-hmm.
The children of Jacob. His chosen.
Go ahead.
He is the Lord our God.
Read that again.
He is the Lord our God.
He is the Lord our Yah. Go ahead. Y'all see that? We are not the same. We are not the same. Watch this. Verse 8.
He has remembered his covenant forever.
Right?
The one which he commanded to 1,000 generations.
Go ahead.
This covenant he made with Abraham.
He made a covenant with Abraham. Go ahead. For what? Go ahead. And to Israel for an everlasting covenant. Now go back to Sirach. Read that verse 11 and 12 again. Watch this. Back to Sirach 17, verse 11 and 12. Read it. Watch this.
Besides this, he gave them knowledge
Mm-hmm.
and the law of life for a heritage.
So you saw that over there. Who he gave the law to? Jacob. Go ahead.
He made an everlasting covenant with them and showed them his judgment.
And the covenant you saw, he made it with Abraham. Now, let's go back to Psalms 147. We're going to continue to build on this to show you we are not the same. Let's go to Psalms 147. Give me verse 19 through 20. Watch this.
He showed his word unto Jacob.
He showed the words unto who?
He showed his word unto Jacob.
Go ahead. Go ahead. So right there, ladies and gentlemen, you're seeing that yes, he made everybody. Yes, he gave everybody talents and gifts and certain things. But when it comes down to his law, when it comes down to his personal relationship, when it comes down to who he's dealing with, read that last part again. He has not dealt so with any other nation. They have not known them. Praise ye the Most High. We are not the same. And so for any Christian that comes across this lesson, if you make it this far, and you're saying, well, that's different now, because Gentiles in the church, you have to ask yourself, ladies and gentlemen, during the time of what they call the New Testament, and Gentiles came into the church, who taught them? Who was the head of the church? Who are all the apostles? Who are all the prophets? Who are all the pastors? Who are all the teachers? See that? What has changed? Now, the so-called leaders of the Christian church are Gentiles. This is why the church no longer looks the same as what you see in the Bible. And Paul breaks that down in Romans 9. Who was supposed to do what? So it has not changed. We are not the same. Now, let's go back to Sirach 17. So we saw who the law and the heritage was with. Watch this. I'm going to continue to build on here. Let's go to verse 13.
Their eyes saw the majesty of his glory,
Right.
and their ears heard his glorious sight.
So now notice we're still talking about that elect, right? And he's not talking about everybody else saw this. What did their eyes see? He says what?
Their eyes saw the majesty of his glory.
Go ahead.
Their ears
Mm-hmm.
He said unto them, beware of all unrighteousness.
Beware of all unrighteousness. Now, let's show this deep. Let's go to Exodus 19. So now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to make sure that you guys have the precepts to understand that when someone comes to you in church and say, yo, everybody's the same, the Bible does not say that. When you're trying to be equal with the nations, ladies and gentlemen, you are downgrading yourself. That's not Leviticus saying that. That's the Bible saying that. I'm going to prove it tonight. And for those who just coming on, you have to understand it's not coming from a spirit, from a place of pride. Is now we can look down because the job was given to us to reach down and pull the Gentile up. Now that role has been reversed. The Gentile has pulled us down in their mirror. That's what happened. So I'm going to show you when this happened. Let's go to Exodus 19. And matter of fact, for the sake of time, I'm just going to give them these precepts. Okay, let's put those in. I'm going to put those in, put that into there. I'm going to put these precepts in, ladies and gentlemen, because we don't have time to go over all this tonight, because there's a lot more things I got to give you. But we are going to go to Exodus 24 and make it even more clear. Exodus 19. Exodus 19, verses 10 through 25 is the verses which the Most High tells Moses to prepare the children of Israel that he is coming down to talk to them. Okay? All right? And chapters 20 through 23 is chapters 20 through 23 is the Most High talking to the children of Israel and giving them their law directly. He came directly to them. These are your precepts for this. Okay. Okay. So Exodus 20 and 23 is when the actual Most High to Israel is taking place. Okay. I'll go to the regular live, put that in. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen, because it's a lot we got to give you guys, and I want to make sure I got time to go into the other things, so I don't want to get bogged down in this, but I want to make sure you guys have the precepts. 1 second. Okay. Exodus 19, 10 through 25 is when Moses was told to prepare the children of Israel that the Most High will be coming down to talk to them. And Exodus 20 through 23, these entire chapters is the Most High actually telling them what to do. What you see there is Sirach 17 and 14. Okay, so that's clear. But let's go deep to Exodus 24. I do need to show you this. Exodus 24. Now let's go to there. So you got the precepts for that part. I meant Exodus 24. That was me. My bad. I meant Exodus 24. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm going to show you that not only did Moses see the Most High, you're going to find out other people of our ancestors saw him as well, and they was dealing directly with him. We are not the same, ladies and gentlemen. No one else in the world has been ever given this opportunity to deal with the Most High. So don't get caught up in that stuff you be hearing on TBN and Daystar when they're like, I went to heaven and I walked with Jesus. No. They lying, man. You guys are liars, man. Watch this. Exodus 24. And let's start there at verse 1.
And he said unto Moses, come up into the Lord, thou and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship ye afar off.
So what is going on, ladies and gentlemen, is the Most High is at the top of Mount Sinai, and the children of Israel is down there. Shalom, Sister Stephanie, good seeing you on with us tonight. The children of Israel is down at the bottom of Mount Sinai, and the Most High is up at the top. And he tells them to come into the cloud, but he said, listen, you bring 70 elders, you bring Aaron, you bring a couple of the priests, and 70 elders that you pick the leaders up. They got to worship me from afar, but they coming up higher than the rest of the children of Israel. Watch this, verse 2.
Moses alone shall come near the Lord,
right?
But they shall not come nigh, neither shall the people go up with him.
So he said, listen, the rest of the people got to stay down at the bottom. They're going to come up, but the only one that's going to come to me directly is Moses. Watch this. Verse 3.
And Moses came and told the people of all the words of the Lord and all the judgments, and all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words of the Lord has said we will do.
Directly. Who else in the world had that opportunity? Who else but us? Watch this. Verse 4.
And Moses wrote all the words of the Lord, and rose up early in the morning, and built an altar under the hill, and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel.
According to who?
The 12 tribes of Israel.
Now, let's go down for a second time to verse 9. Watch this.
Then went up Moses and Aaron and Nadab and Abihu and 70 of the elders of Israel.
Right.
And they saw God of Israel.
They saw what?
And they saw the God of Israel.
And they saw a higher. They saw him. Who else can say that? We are not the same, ladies and gentlemen. I hope y'all are seeing this. Watch this. Go ahead.
And there was under his feet, as it were, a paved walk of a sapphire stone, and it were the body of heaven in his clearness. And upon the nobles of the children of Israel, he laid out his hand. Also, they saw God and did eat and drink.
Y'all see that? You see that, man? This is what our ancestors is doing, man. This is what we're going to be able to do. And no other nation can. We are not the same. Watch this. Watch this. Verse 12.
And the Lord said unto Moses, come up to me into the mount, and be there, and I will give thee tables of stones, and a law and commandments which I have written, and thou mayest teach them.
So he may teach them. So everybody in the movies, they always like to talk about the fact that that Moses went up and talked to there, but they don't tell you about all the rest of the people that got the chance to see him too. They don't tell you about the fact that the Most High came down himself. And ladies and gentlemen, what I like to remind people all the time, if they knew it, so did the rest of the world. The Most High don't come to earth and it's just a secret. Okay? Watch this. Verse 13.
And Moses rose up, and his minister Joshua, and Moses went up unto the mount of God. And he said unto the elders, tarry ye here for us until we come again unto you, and behold, Aaron and Hur are with you. If any man have any matters to do, let him come unto them.
So he said, listen, y'all stay down here. If there's any situation that you need worked out, because I'm going to be up here for a while, you deal with Aaron there. Don't talk to me. Okay, don't come looking for me because I can't be involved. This is it. This is it right here. Watch this. Verse 15.
And Moses went up into the mount, and a cloud covered the mount.
And this right here, you're going to love this right here. Look at what verse 16 says.
And the glory of the Lord abode upon Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it 6 days.
So, when the Most High came down to Mount Sinai, he stayed with the people for 6 days. But look at what happened.
And the 7th day he called unto Moses out of the midst of the cloud.
You see that? Moses went and got the law on the Sabbath. You telling me the Sabbath don't matter? It has always mattered to the Most High. He stayed with the people for 6 days. But when it was time for the Sabbath, Most High went back and took Moses with him on the Sabbath. So we saw the law was brought to us on the Sabbath. We know the first time the gospel was preached in Luke 4:16 was on the Sabbath. We know the Holy Spirit came on the Feast of First Fruits was the Sabbath. We know Hamashiach was crucified on Passover, which was the Sabbath. The Sabbath matters, ladies and gentlemen. Don't you never let nobody tell you no different. It has always mattered. And this is why they have worked so hard for us to get away from it. Because we will miss our connection to our God, to our Yah. This is why the Gentiles have worked tirelessly to keep us from this Sabbath. Watch this, verse 17.
And the sight of the glory of the Lord was like devouring fire on the top of the mount in the eyes of the children of Israel.
So all of our ancestors saw the Most High. He came to them. We are not the same. Watch this, verse 18.
And Moses went into the midst of the cloud and got him up into the mount. And Moses was in the mount 40 days and 40 nights.
And the Most High was still there. The same thing that Yeshua did in Matthew 4. See that? Now, let's go back to Sirach 17. I just want to make sure y'all got all these things tonight, man. So when people try to tell you that everybody else is the same, man, we on the same thing. No, we're not. No, we're not. We're not the same. So let's go back to Sirach 17. And just for sake, let's read 13 and 14 again so we can get caught back up again. Watch this.
The eyes saw the majesty of his glory, and the ears heard his glorious voice.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto them, beware of all unrighteousness. And he gave every man commandment concerning his neighbor.
And that was chapter 20 through 23 of Exodus. When the Most High told our ancestors directly what to do and what not to do. Y'all see that? Watch this. Verse 15.
Their ways are ever before him and shall not be hid from his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Every man from his youth is given to evil.
Right.
Neither could they make to themselves fleshy hearts for stone.
Right.
For in the division of the nations of the whole earth, he set a ruler over every people.
So for when he divided the nations in Genesis 11th chapter, he put an angel over every different Gentile nation. This is the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, that the Gentiles, till this day, still serve the fallen angels and the other gods. Don't fall for that stuff to about some Roman mythology, Greek mythology, Nordic mythology. No, this is real. And the Catholic Church and the Christian Church and the Protestant Church still serve these gods. Don't let them tell you no different. They just hide it in their doctrine. They hide it in their idols. They still serve these gods. Islam and Judaism still serve the gods of the nations. Don't let them tell you any different. So read it again, verse 17 again. It says what?
For in the division of the nations of the whole earth, he set a ruler over every people.
But
Israel is the Lord's portion.
But Israel is the Lord's portion. Ladies and gentlemen, we are not the same. Clear. Now, let's go deep. Let's go to Amos 3. I need you to hold that and get Deuteronomy 30. All praise to the Most High, Mama V. All praise to the Most High. Let's go Amos 3. I need you to hold that and get Deuteronomy 30. We are not the same, ladies and gentlemen. And they know this. This is why they constantly want you to believe that you have to fight for equality. Because they know as long as you're fighting for equality, you won't walk in the greatness of who you are. Watch this. Amos 3, D. Let's start there at verse 1.
Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you.
Against who?
Against you, O children of Israel. Against the whole family, which I have brought up from the land of Egypt, saying.
Now, so here we see that the prophet Amos is saying that I have a problem with the children that I brought out of Israel. Now, we showed you there in Exodus 20 and Exodus 19, 22, 23, and verse chapter 24, who he brought up out of Israel. But now there's a problem. Now there's an issue that he had with them. What is that? Verse 2?
You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
Once again, stressing the same thing that we've been showing you in all these other precepts. I ain't dealing with nobody else but you. I'm not dealing with no one else but you. Read it again. Amos 3 and 2. Watch this.
You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
Therefore,
I will punish you for all your iniquity.
We are not the same. We are not going to be graded on the same level. We will not be judged on the same requirements as every other nation of this world, ladies and gentlemen. Because he only dealt with us, we will be the only ones that will pay for disobedience. So talking about what the Gentiles can get away with, talking about what they're doing and what they're not doing is a pointless conversation. It's just like going to your parents after you done came in late from curfew and talking about what JoJo them did and what TJ them did and what Jose them did. They're going to look at you like you crazy. They don't want to hear it. And the Most High don't want to hear it. Read it again. Amos 3 and 2 says what?
You only have I known of all the families of the earth.
Right.
Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquity.
I will punish you. I'm not going to punish them. I didn't tell them. You will be punished. You will pay. You will go into captivity. You will be slaves. You will be at the bottom. You will be killed in the streets. Your community will be ravaged with drugs and crime. Y'all will be killing each other. I'm not going to do this with nobody else. You will pay. We are not the same, ladies and gentlemen. Israel like to boast. We want to say that we're chosen, but we misunderstand what comes along with being chosen. We overlook that part. Right? Verse 3.
Can two walk together except they be agreed?
So you see it right here, the Most High saying, I'm walking with you. I never told them I was going to be walking with them. You won't let them tell you that. I never said that. You don't want to let them tell you that for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten. You let them tell you that. I never told you that. I told my son in Matthew 15 and 24 to tell you that I've only came for the house of Israel. I told you that. He said that out of his own mouth. You let them tell you that. Watch this. Verse 4.
Will a lion roar in the forest when he has no prey?
Right.
Will a young lion cry out of his den if he has taken nothing?
You're not going to see a lion doing any of this for no reason. That's what the Most High is saying. He's not going to be roaring if he ain't got no prey. He's not going to try to intimidate someone that he doesn't need to intimidate. He's not going to be intimidated. He's not going to roar when he got some food and someone try to sneak up on him and take his food. Not going to do that. Watch this, verse 5.
Can a bird fall in a snare upon the earth, where no gin is for it?
You put a trap on the earth and a bird is flying in the air. How's that trap going to keep that bird, to trip that bird up? Look at what the Most High is breaking down. Watch this. Go ahead.
So one take up a snare from the earth and have taken nothing at all.
Can he put down a trap that's sitting in here and everybody just walk over the trap and nobody don't get taken by it? So what is he trying to say? Verse 6.
So the trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid.
Go ahead.
So there be an evil in the city, and the Lord has not done it.
Read it again.
So there be an evil in the city, and the Lord has not done it.
And this is what we hear again. Because in the Christian church, they told you everything bad that was happening to your community was the devil. See that? The Most High said, that lion ain't going to be roaring without no prey. Ain't going to be no trumpet sounding if ain't nothing coming. So the evil that's happening to our communities, ladies and gentlemen, it's not the devil. And that's what we were told to believe. So the whole time in church, I rebuke the devil. I rebuke the devil. But then you go and hang with the devil. I rebuke the devil. I rebuke the devil. But you go and party with the devil. I rebuke the devil. I rebuke the devil. But you fall in devil religion. I rebuke the devil. I rebuke the devil. But you go and watch the television show that the devil produced. I rebuke the devil. I rebuke the devil. But then you go around listening to devilish music. I'm telling you, man. So the whole time when we was thinking that what was bad in our community was the devil, we didn't realize we was the devil. Steadily, and our leaders telling us, no justice, no peace. Instead of marching to D.C. and marching to the Capitol, we should have been marching to Jerusalem. We should have been marching in somewhere to get to the Million Man March. We should have been to an open field to fall on our face together for 1 million men praying back to the Most High. But we didn't know. So we come tonight to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we are not the same. Watch this. Verse 7. So like in verse 7.
Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets.
Read that again.
Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets.
Right there. Should let you know that all of these guys that we have deemed as spiritual leaders are not of the Most High. Because none of them are telling us this. Y'all see this? That's why we bring the precepts out, because nobody can say this is our opinion. Read it again. Go ahead. Get your drink. Go ahead.
Surely the Lord God will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets.
He said, I'm not going to do anything to my people and not first tell my prophets so that they will tell you. What have the so-called prophets, pastors, bishops, apostles, what have they been saying about what's wrong with our people? Have they been telling you to keep the law or telling you to break the law? Verse 8.
The lion has roared.
The lion has roared, and who will not fear? We know who that lion is. His name is Yeshua HaMashiach, who the world know to be Jesus the Christ. Go ahead.
The Lord God has spoken.
Who can but prophesy? But if you're not connected to the Most High, how can you prophesy? See that? Now, where we at? 134. That's good. Let's go to Sirach 20. Let's go to Rock 27. Now, I think we done said enough on that. That what we got to do. So now we're going to end off tonight with Sirach 27 and Isaiah 49. Sirach 27, ladies and gentlemen, I want to go here tonight because there's so much about the so-called Black community, so-called African American community that has been deemed as norm and the way of life that we don't even realize that we're the one that's fueling our destruction. So as a result of us doing these things that we deem as normal, we don't understand what part we're playing in our own destruction. So tonight I want to go to Sirach 27 to give out some practical wisdom for us to see what we need to be a part of and what things we need to let go of. Some things we're going to have to reevaluate about how we've been living, the decision-making skills, the choices, who we're connecting ourselves with. There's a lot of things we got to reevaluate. So let's go to Sirach 27. And Deke, let's start there at verse 3. Watch this.
Unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord, his house shall soon be overthrown.
Read that again, Deke.
Unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord, his house shall be overthrown.
Now, this is the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, that throughout the generations of our people, there are times frames where you'll have a family will come up and they will start to have some type of what we would deem as success. You have a guy that you have one of the children, whether it be a son or a daughter, that will go off to school or start a business, and that business or that school will lead to some form of success. And then they will have children, and these children will be, financially more stable and more well off, that will lead to more opportunities to be successful. Whatever the case may be, somebody get, a sports career or music career, whatever the case may be. You have little spots here and there, right? But what you find is that if the Most High is not at the center of the home, these things will never be ongoing. There'll be for a generation, maybe to the next one, and then afterwards, everything will come to a swift halt. Because one child that's just completely far gone will do something, and next thing you know, the wealth, the possessions, the prestige, everything is gone. Now, you will have that severe fall off, or you will have the other side. The other side is they will go deeper into the darkness, and they will get more wealthy, more prestige, more influence. So it's always one of the two. It never is a consistent worldly deem of success that goes on that is basically being fueled by the Most High, hard work, and principles, the principles. And it's because the Most High is not the center of it. He's not going to allow, ladies and gentlemen, people, his children, to continue to live outside of him and have some level of comfortability. Ain't going to happen. He's going to rock the boat, or he's going to turn you over to a reprobated mind. One or the other. And one of those choices always end up with us. You understand? We're not the same. You cannot do these things that the world is deeming and think that the Most High is going to be behind you. Listen, all this, I'm not lucky, I'm blessed. You got to stop falling for this stuff, man. You got to stop listening to these people who are saying, man, I know if it wasn't for God for me, I wouldn't have none of this. They're not talking about a higher. They're not talking about the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. You need to understand that. Watch this. Verse 4.
And as when one sifted with the sheep, the refuse remaineth, so for the filth of man is his talk.
So what he's saying is like the reason why a person gets a sheave and shakes stuff out is because they want to get the dirt and excess out of it. He says so. It says it's right here. So even though you can shake it up a little bit, it's still at the bottom. Well, what he's saying is if a person who is built on filth and wickedness, just let them keep talking, and eventually you're going to see who they really are. Okay. So that's why these guys come out with the sound bites and the tweets and the posts here and there, because it'll sound real and it sound like they're for you. But all you got to do is watch a full interview of them, and then you realize, yo, this dude's wicked, yo. That's what happens. Just let them keep talking. So a lot of time our community is so quick to celebrate somebody, so quick to give them props and anoint them as some new Black leader. It's amazing to me how someone could just become a Black leader. Oh, he just made a lot of money. Oh yeah, this guy, just look to this guy for guidance. But that's what happens. That's how it works. Watch this. Verse 5.
The furnace proveth the potter's vessel.
The furnace proveth the potter's vessel. Go ahead.
So the trial of man is in his wisdom.
You see that? I hope y'all are hearing what Sirach is saying here. The heat and the pressure that goes into in those ovens where the vessels become solid and usable. In the same manner, what the Most High is saying here is that when you're going through a situation, how you determine to get out of that situation will show who you really is. And we've seen our communities when pressure get tight, how we ultimately choose to be. During 70 AD, when the Romans came to destroy Israel, destroy Jerusalem, the strong, the young, instead of galvanizing together to fight the Romans, you know what they started doing? Started raping, destroying, and robbing and killing the elderly and the weak. Sounds familiar? Is that the same thing that's going on in the hood now? So you see, in the end of the day, that's nothing's new in the sun. You get a guy and he's poor, and some guy comes through and say, I offer you a deal. Just announce to the world that you're a homosexual. Okay. Every time. Just tell people that you're gay. You don't never see him with a boyfriend. You don't never see him married to a man. You don't never see anything, but just as soon as you get to a certain level, it's like, yeah, I'm gay. You have some famous rappers, female rappers, when their careers began to come out, they started telling women to be bisexual, to be homosexuals. They started having videos with a bunch of naked women in it, pop locking, dropping it, twerking, and all this. And the women say, "Hey, this is what it's doing. This is how she did it. I'm going to do it." And then as soon as these women got to some form of status and made a lot of money, then they come out and say, "Yo, we was never doing that. I was never homosexual. I was never a lesbian." But you have influenced a generation to go do it. Who do you think telling them to do that, y'all? And then they say, I just want to thank God because I know He's behind my success. Watch this. Watch this. Verse 6.
The fruit declareth if the tree has been dressed.
Read it again.
The fruit declareth if the tree has been dressed.
So what comes out of that tree, you're going to know whether that tree has been taken care of, the fruit. If that fruit is rotten, if that fruit is dry or it didn't come to its full fruition, that's how you know that tree wasn't taken care of. Yeshua said it in Matthew 7 that a man shall be known by his fruit. And this is what we try to break out when it comes to the fruit. And ladies and gentlemen, fruit, when a tree makes fruit, that tree doesn't make fruit for it to eat. An apple doesn't eat apples. Apple tree doesn't eat apples. An orange tree don't eat oranges. Do you understand? So trees are made for others to eat off of it. Ladies and gentlemen, you have been given talent. You have been given gifts, not necessarily to be a blessing to yourself, but to be a blessing to others, to further the kingdom. But the kingdom, but your gifting and your talent, what have you used it for? See that? Watch this. Read it again. He says what? Sirach on 27:5. Watch this. I mean 6.
The fruit declared if the tree have been dressed.
Right.
So in the utterance of a conceit in the heart of man.
So when a man's talking, when a man is speaking, right there you know what's in that man's heart. You already know it. You know who's behind him by what he's saying and what he's talking about. Watch this. Watch this, y'all. Verse 7.
Praise no man before thou hearest him speak. For this is the trial of me.
And this is what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. Most people are allowing social media to tell them whether they should be for someone or should be against them. A lot of the preachers that our communities have exalted, leaders and great men, the only reason people are saying that is because they see the buildings, they see the crowds, they see, the popularity. They also see the approval by people outside of the church. So when you see preachers on Breakfast Club and Oprah Winfrey shows and other famous talk shows and stuff like that, you're like, yo, these guys got to be real because they got them here, right? So people are quick to accredit them because of their popularity. But what you should do is allow real conversations to be had about what the Bible is saying, and then you'll hear what they're saying ain't added up for this. So one of the most famous preachers of our community was caught on television, on camera, saying that he know that Jesus is black, but he is not telling his congregation that. He said, our people need to believe that Jesus is white. Now, he didn't know the cameras was rolling when he made that statement. He leaned into the guy that was talking to him and said, man, I know Jesus is black, but our people need to believe that he's white. Who do you think told him to say that? And it will be the same guys, when you go to the script and you bring it out that he's not white, will come back with the rebuttal. Oh man, it don't matter what color he is. How is it that it don't matter what color he is, only when you're saying he's black? Tell him. We are not the same. And as long as we are allowing these people who are operating, this is what we're bringing out here, to have the say-so of what we're going to do and what we're not going to do, we are not going to line up with the will of the Most High. This is why we're in these scriptures tonight, because I'm trying to show you the difference between those who are with the Most High and those who are not. And I want you to start analyzing the leaders. I want you to start analyzing the people that you're following. I want you to start analyzing the people that you're allowing to have say-so in your life. You cannot be these guys. You cannot follow them. Watch this. Watch this. Verse 8.
If thou followest righteousness, thou shalt take and put her on as a glorious long robe.
Go ahead.
The birds will resort unto their light, so will truth return unto them that practice in it.
Read that good, D.
The birds will resort unto their light.
This is the biblical format of saying birds of a feather flock together. That's what it's saying. That's all he's saying right there. Birds of the same feather flock together. And he said, what was that last part?
So will truth return to them that practice in her.
And so will truth return unto them that practice her. So you're seeing, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why these people are hanging together and they're being together is because they're always good. Truth ain't gonna come back to people who ain't operating in truth. See that? Sirach, I'm telling you, y'all gotta get into Sirach, man. Sirach pulls back the covers. Where we through our own eyes and trying to see things, saying objectively, we'll give people too much credit. Sirach said, nah, let me show you what's really going on here. No G passes. Sirach gonna call it for what it is. Watch this. Verse 10.
As a lion lieth in wait for the prey, so sin for them that work iniquity.
Read it again. He says what?
As a lion lieth in wait for the prey.
So that lamb, that deer, that deer, that little zebra, that walking along, he has no idea what's coming. He's just going to get a drink of water. He don't even know the lion is coming to rip him to shreds. And in the same manner there, what he say? And this is what you don't understand, ladies and gentlemen. For my Christian brothers and sisters, this is the reason why your life is constantly being destroyed. Because you don't know what sin is. Because you've been told that you've been saved by grace and you don't understand the only thing grace was doing was given to give you an opportunity to know what sin was. Because you was in captivity. You didn't know what was going on. 1 John 3 and 4, ladies and gentlemen, sin is the transgression of the law. And this is why, no matter how hard we work, no matter how hard we pray, no matter how much dedication we give to the church, to the community, because we're constantly breaking the law as the so-called Black race, so-called African-American community, sin eventually brings destruction. Ultimately, every time. You have a pastor that'll come up, bring a church into a community, people start coming in, lives getting better, but because they're telling them over and over, you can break the law, break the law, break the law, break the law. It don't happen in 5, it don't happen in 10, don't happen in 15, 20, 30 years, but eventually sin continues to grow and get cultivated in the community, whole church, whole ministry, everything crumbles. It's a redundant process in our communities over and over and over again. And people on the outside in are saying, oh, the Bible is fake. Oh, this Jesus stuff is fake. Oh, I don't know, this religion is fake. We would never follow the Bible. We was never following Christ. We never knew the Most High. And that was the problem. Because we are not the same. Watch this. Verse 11.
The discourse of a godly man is always with wisdom, but a fool changeth as the moon.
Read that again, man. Come on.
The discourse of a godly man is always with wisdom.
So those who are following the Holy Spirit, everything that they're talking about is always going to be based on the word of the Most High. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, it irritates people who ain't got the Holy Spirit, is that when every time you're answering things with the Bible, they always say, why you got to always go to the Bible? Why it always got to be what the word? What do you mean? So the godly man, when he do this course, he's always going to drop wisdom. But what? But a fool changes as the moon, man. You'll hear this guy here saying, yeah, we got to do this. And the next week it'll be something different. And I'm talking about pastors. When that dude, that basketball player that recently died, I guarantee you, 85 to 95% of the churches in the Black community preached about that guy that following Sunday. I can guarantee it. Wasn't even there, and I can guarantee it. This month, all through this, what they call Black History Month, will be the center of every message. And in March, whole new theme. Tell him, man. But people don't want to have these conversations. They want to say that you're judging. The judgment is there before our eyes. Look at the church. Look at the community that surround the church. Any questions? Now the old commercial they say, this is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Mm-hmm. Any questions? Well, that's what we have to do when it comes to the churches. This is the church. This is the community around the church. Any questions? We are not the same. Watch this. Watch this. Verse 12. Watch this.
If thou be among the indiscreet, observe the time, but be continually among men of understanding.
He said, listen, if you're around people who don't, they're going to be running off at the mouth, who are going to be doing any and everything, you listen, don't be around them too long, bro. You don't want to be found amongst people who have no regards for anything they say or do. If you're going through certain spots, you got family and friends, go through, dap up, show a little love, but you can't be there juggling. But what was that last part? He says what?
Be continually among men of understanding.
But be continually among men of understanding. I found, and especially with men, I can't really speak for women, but I found that a lot of times men will choose to hang around guys who don't know as much as they do, so that they can seem like they're deeper and more aware, but really it's also to make sure that they are never being challenged. And I found this happen too often amongst men. Now I can't really speak for the ladies, but I know for a fact this is going on with the men. So their homeboys are still fornicators, adulterers, wicked men, but they'll come through and they can drop a couple of knowledge, drop a couple of gems here and there, and then the homeboys like, man, I'm trying to get like you. I'm just that. And that way, by hanging around those guys, they can still fornicate, they can still be wicked, they can still do all these little things, but because they're doing just a little bit better or a little bit different, a little bit more wisdom, no one is there to challenge them. Ciroc ain't giving no G passes, man. He's showing us what we need to be doing and what we don't need to be doing. Every application of our lives. Watch this. Oh, there's more. Watch this. Verse 13.
The discourse of fools is irksome, and their sport is in the wantonness of sin.
Y'all see that? Hey. This is what happens, man, when you're sitting around a bunch of people that's talking about just wickedness all the time. I don't even want to hear about it. That's why I often say to people when they say like, yo, yeah, that's my man and all that. That's who I be joking with. I'm like, word? Okay. I wonder why. Because you want to talk about these things. You want these things. These things is what tickle your fancy. I don't understand how certain things can be entertainment. How is it that you can be in church on Sunday or be at the Sabbath, it'd be the gathering on the Sabbath, and someone reads a certain thing and you say, yeah, that's a sin, but then you deem it as entertainment? How can it be both? How can it be sin, yet your forms a part of your entertainment? There's no way I could sit down. Like people are still talking about you can be saved and go to the club. How can you? How can you be with the Most High, got the spirit of the Most High in you, and go sit in a club where music is played that's just so ratchet and wicked, people in there naked and doing all kind of stuff in there, and you can sit there like, hey, it ain't me. How could you be a part of it? How can you be around that? I can remember my last days in the club, so don't think I'm sitting here from a high horse, okay? That I ain't never did it. I can remember my last days in the club, sitting there with my brothers, them looking at, they're having the time of their life, and I'm just sitting there like this, dazed. Like, something wicked. I don't know how we enjoy this. Every cuss word, everything is just it's like it's punching me in my flesh every time. It's rock. So if it's not getting on your nerve, if it's not bothering you, then that's another conversation that you need to have. We are not the same, ladies and gentlemen. And if these things are cool, these things are you still can relate to it. You need to ask yourself some tough questions. Watch this. Verse what we at, Deep? Verse 14. Watch this.
The talk of him that sweareth much maketh the hair stand upright, and their brows make one stop his ears.
You see that? If you can still be hanging around people who cussing, saying all type of vulgar things, what is that telling you? If you can sit down and watch these movies where this thing is coming out, what is that telling you? Sometimes my family or sometimes people be like, yo, man, you got to check out this new comedian. Like I said, I don't want to call out names or whatever. They be like, yo, check out this right here. I'm like, nah, I'm going to pass on that because I already know what's going to be the topic of conversation and how it will be delivered. It's funny, though. I'm sure it is. Sure it is. Not denying it's funny. But at what it costs? What's the cost? I'm just trying to show y'all how this stuff should not be who we are anymore. Watch this. Verse 15.
The strife of the proud is bloodshed, and their revilings are grievous to the ear. Whoso discovers secrets loseth his credit, and shall never find friend to his mouth.
You see that? How these guys go here, and like I said, I never thought that dudes would be doing this. What you're seeing, what used to be known as women, this thing a woman would do with gossiping and telling other people's business. I never thought dudes would be doing this. But you see it done all the time now. Something could come out, and the next thing you know, it's on a Facebook page. It's on a Facebook post. It's on a screenshot. It's like, and they think it's funny. Like, if you can do this to your mans, who do you think gonna trust you going forward? If your own mans, your mans can't trust what you say to you in confidence. You're finished. Because anybody that rock with you going forward there is a dummy. These shorties out here, some of these shorties out here were screaming on social media that they were so in love with this person. Months later, they were another person. How could you do it? What is wrong with you? Huh? I'm just saying. All right, let's go. Verse let's go. Verse what we at? Verse 15? Yeah, verse 16. Verse 17, let's go.
Love thy friend and be faithful unto him. His secrets fall no more after him.
He said, listen, bro. Once you, that word Berelis there means you put out his secrets. You bring out his stuff that he done told you in confidence. Now you bring it and you let the whole world see it. He said, once you done did this to your friend, then you better not rock with him no more. Because he's not your friend no more. Watch this. Verse 18.
For as a man has destroyed his enemy, so hast thou lost the love of thy neighbor.
You see that? You see that? Now, because this guy that's supposed to be your best friend, this girl that's supposed to be your ride or die, you have brought their secrets, you brought their pain, you brought their area of vulnerability, and you let the whole world see it. You lost that person, yeah? Watch this. Watch this. Verse 20. Verse 19.
as one that letteth a bird go out of his hand, so hast thou let thy neighbor go, and thou shalt not get him again.
And you will never have this special thing that the Most High bless you with. You will never have it again. Now, remember, I'm telling you that we are not the same. But ain't that the way the world is living now? That for any level of opportunity or celebrity or popularity or money or cash, they just betray and just throw away everything. You can't say you're the children of Israel. You can't say you walk with a Mashiach and you living like this. But people just be wicked, backstabbers, liars, defilers, variances and stripes, evil things, and do it. And then to come right back on social media the next day. Kwam Yasher Allah. I'm telling you, man. I'm just bringing it out. Watch this. Where we at? Verse 20?
Follow after him no more.
Follow after him no more. Go ahead. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Right. So he said, listen, you can have a boom and you might bound it up so you can put some wraps on it so they don't get infected. Or you might get into an argument and they might be, you know what I'm saying? You might be like, yo, bro, we straight, we cool, ain't no beef no more. But watch this. Go ahead.
But he that bewrayeth secrets is without hope.
Yo, it's over. Once you bring out people's vulnerable points and you air out people's dirty laundry, there's nothing else can be done. You can never be trusted. And what I'm trying to get Israel to see is that you're not only going to be trusted by that person, but no one else will ever do anything for you. So ladies, I'm telling you right now, you're thinking out over here, the grass is green on the other side, and you're going to go over on that green side, and you're going to find out you got green cement. Brother, you're going to think that everything over here is sweet. And like the Sirach said, all bread is sweet to the whoremonger. And you're going to realize that bread is rotten. And then once you do this and you destroy the best thing that you ever had, you're going to find out that no one is going to want to rock with you again. These things may make you successful, quote unquote, successful in the world, but you can't be Israel and living like this. The Most High will not bless your mess. We are not the same, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just trying to show you some practical things that everyone said, this is the way of the hood, man. Every man for himself. You got to get mine. I got to get mine. You can't be Israel living like that. You can't do it. Watch this. Where we at? Verse 23? 22, go ahead.
He that winketh with his eyes worketh evil, and he that knoweth him will depart from him.
See, look at that. This is just that throwing the rock, hide in your hand. Throwing the rock, hide in your hand. Coming with the fake Shalom. I already know you got a plan and agenda. And the people that know you, they ain't going to rock with you. But this is what's going to happen. Watch this. Verse 23.
When thou art present, he will speak sweetly and will admire thy words.
That's right.
But the last, he will writhe his mouth and slander thy saying.
You see that? So he's going to act like this person is doing this. They're going to act like they're cool with you. They're going to act like, yo, bro, I'm telling you, yo, you be bringing it out. And then when you leave the room or you're in a crowd, I'm sorry, y'all got this cold look congested. And when you ain't around, they're gonna speak evil of your name. You can't be connected to people who operate like this. You can't say, well, yeah, he did that to them or she did that to her. Nah, you're on deck. You next up. Go ahead.
24. I have hated many things, but nothing like him.
Read it again. What Sirach said? He said what?
I have hated many things.
Sirach said, I hated many things. Go ahead. But nothing like this dude. For the Most High gonna hate him. Watch this. Go ahead.
Whoso casteth a stone on high, casteth it on his own head.
Read that again.
Whoso casteth a stone on high, casteth it on his own head. So
this is what Sirach is saying. When you are looking down on people, right? And just because right now you're in a position of authority, a position of superiority, what's the word? Superiority. And now you're using that position that you have over someone, and you take advantage and you drop that rock to hurt someone, and you drop that rock to shatter a relationship, and you drop that rock to trip someone up. The Most High said you're really dropping it on yourself. You know you got to be real. When you can make a person that's sitting over a person that drop a rock on to hit them, and the Most High make that same rock and come bust you upside your own head. That's the God we serve. Go ahead.
And a deceitful stroke shall make room. Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein.
Go ahead.
And he that setteth a trap shall be taken there.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know this is how the world's getting down, but the Most High ain't going to allow this with us. I know this is how people are coming up in the world, but Israel cannot operate like this. He's not going to allow it. Watch this. Verse 27.
He that worketh mischief, it shall fall upon him, and he shall not know whence it cometh.
He ain't gonna listen. I'm sorry, y'all. This cold got me a little congested. Please bear with me. Ladies and gentlemen, as an elder and as a pastor who is, have been charged to deal with people and get counsels, it's kind of rough sometimes when people come to you and you have to be the one to tell them that they're their own worst enemy. And, you have to find a way to say it lovingly. Sometimes, especially with dudes, you just got to be straight up. Now, with the ladies, I try to be very, very careful. I try to be very easygoing with it to make them see it, try to let them talk their way into it, allow it to be unfold so they can see it like, yo, I shouldn't have done this, or man, I should have never dealt with that, or whatever the case may be. But with some of these dudes, you got to be just straight off. But what I'm saying is that a lot of our people don't understand that they are their own worst enemy. And the problems that are happening in their lives, they have no idea that they are the ones sending the war to them own selves. They can't see it. Because in this world, they are seeing all of the Gentiles doing these things. They're seeing the reality shows, they're seeing the social media influencers, and they're seeing all these things, and they're seeing everybody do these particular things and seeing as if everything is working out for them. They're seeing these women act this way, and they're getting money, and they're getting all of these things, and then when they try it, everything falls apart. Israel, we are not the same. And some of the people that you're modeling your life after have been turned over to a reprobated mind. They're never going to change. They're never going to desire any change. So you need to be very mindful of what you're applying to your life. Well, it worked for them. Has it? Watch this. Go ahead.
Mockery and reproach are from the proud.
Read that again, D.
Mockery and reproach are from the proud.
Mockery and reproach are from the proud. Ladies and gentlemen, Israel cannot continue to belittle and to ridicule each other. We can't do this, man. We can't do this anymore. This stuff is coming from the proud. It's not coming from the humble. And I know sometimes that, and I've been guilty of this myself, so I'm talking to myself here, is that you see certain things or someone sends you a video and someone is getting made fun of, a clown or whatever. And the first thing we do is we take it and we send it to our friends and family. We gotta stop doing that, man. We gotta hold ourselves to a higher standard. Well, we gotta be like, nah, I can't further this. I can't be giving it views. I can't be giving this any type of attention to this. This is wrong. We're called to a higher standard, Israel, and we have to operate as such. Watch this. Go ahead.
But vengeance as a lion shall lie in wait for them.
You see that? You're on deck. There's a video coming out with you sooner or later. Verse 30. Verse 29.
They that rejoice at the fall of righteous shall be taken in the snare.
Read it again, D.
They that rejoice at the fall of the righteous shall be taken in the snare, and anguish shall consume them before they die.
You see that? It don't end well. It will never, ever end well. We got to be mindful of that. It's not going to end well with us. We are not the same. I'm going to continue to say this all throughout the night. We are not the same. Verse 30.
Malice and wrath, even these are abomination.
Read it again, D.
Malice and wrath, even these are abomination.
Now, I thought just homosexuality was abomination. Malice and wrath, right? And shall have them both. Where's the grace? Ladies and gentlemen, we are not the same. Now, you know I couldn't allow the end on that. That was something I had to pull back the covers. You know how you had to put a little alcohol in the wound a little bit? Because there's a lot of things, ladies and gentlemen, we got to do some work on. This being chosen, this being the Most High's chosen seed, it comes with responsibility. And these little areas that we're deeming as insignificant or, not as important are the ones that's really killing our witness. It's causing the most damage because on your job and amongst your family and friends, on your social media presence, you're doing something completely different than you would be doing if the rest of your family, the rest of your Israelite community was around. So we got to be mindful of that. So let's end it off tonight. Let's go to Isaiah 43. And let us remind Israel deep as we end off here tonight of what's at stake here. All right. Remind Israel what's at stake here and what all is before us. I'm going to be ending off here tonight. Isaiah 43. Isaiah 49. What I meant, Isaiah 49. Start at verse 7 there. Isaiah 49. We are not the same. Let's start at verse 7. Watch this.
Thus saith the Lord.
Thus saith the Most High. Go ahead.
The Redeemer of Israel. And his Holy One.
That's Yeshaya. Go ahead.
To him whom man despiseth, to him whom the nations abhorreth.
Okay.
To a servant of rulers, kings shall see and arise, princes also shall worship because of the Lord that is faithful and the Holy One of Israel, and he shall choose thee.
I need you to start back at the beginning because this is what we were talking about last week, D. Read that again. He says what?
Thus saith the Lord.
Thus says the Most High. Go ahead.
The Redeemer of Israel.
Go ahead.
The Holy One.
That's Yeshaya HaMashiach. Now, you need to understand, ladies and gentlemen, As we talked about last week in Psalms 83, regardless of where you want to see it or believe it or not, there are people who hate the Most High. And regardless of people want to accept, my Christian brothers and sisters want to accept it or not, there are some people who hate who the world know to be Jesus Christ. And it's not for the reason that you think it is. It's for the reason what this Bible says is that he came and shed his blood for the children of Israel. You see, we was over here in captivity and we got rose up from slaves who don't know their history, but the Gentiles know about what happened, what we talked about over there in Exodus 20 to 23. They know that. And many of them don't like that. You understand? So this is what happened. They hate him, but as we talked about last week, we are the world most hated, yet we're the only hope that the world has. So man despised it. Go ahead.
To him whom man despises, to him whom the nations abhor.
And the nations abhor me. They have a deep, deep, deep hatred for him. But go ahead.
To a servant of rulers, kings shall see and rise, princes also shall worship.
But at the same time, regardless of what they feel, the king shall rise and worship. Go ahead.
Because of the Lord that is faithful.
Because the Most High is faithful.
And the Holy One of Israel, and he shall choose you.
And he shall choose you. So no matter what they're saying or doing, he's still going to choose you. Watch this. Verse 8.
Thus saith the Lord.
Thus saith the Most High. Right. Right.
To establish the earth, to cause to inherit the desolate heritage.
Y'all see that? And this is the time now. Hosea 6 and 2 says that in 2 days he will revive us, and the third day he will raise us up. We're in the end of that second day where he's reviving us, and we're going to inherit the desolate heritage. Everything that we lost is coming back. Watch this, verse 9.
Thou mayest say to the prisoners, go forth.
Go ahead.
They shall feed in the ways, and their pasture shall be in all high places.
See that? So all of the ones that were on the bottom now are being brought back to the top, which understands that some are rising, others are falling. This is why when you cut on your news every night, you see chaos all over the world. This is why we showed you in Isaiah 5. Has there not been danger in the city, and I haven't sent it? Listen, let me give you a news flash, ladies and gentlemen. The devil doesn't want chaos in the world. The devil knows as long as there's peace, the world will continue to follow him. Don't believe the hype of the Christian church. As long as everything is good, he's winning. It's not until there's chaos and problems and people start looking around and say, hey man, what's going on? I've been serving the devil. Do you think if there weren't black people getting killed every day, and AIDS and vaccines and abortion clinics and drugs and broken homes, do you think our people would be looking for God? No, we were thinking we already found him. Now the Most High is pulling back the covers, and Israel is starting to see, hey, something ain't right. And the Gentiles are starting to see, hey, something ain't right. Why would the devil want that? Watch this. Verse 10.
They shall not hunger nor thirst.
Go ahead.
Neither shall the heat nor sun smite them.
Right.
For that has mercy on them. For he that has mercy on them shall lead them. Even by the springs of water shall he guide them.
So he said, listen, I'm going to bring every one of my children back, and you're not going to be dependent upon the system to take care of you anymore. It will be my hand to do it. Watch this. Verse 11.
and I will make all my mountains a way, and my highways shall be exalted.
So everything that's in the way of my children getting back, moved. That's why Mark 11:22 told us, have the faith of the Most High. If you speak to the mountain and not doubt that the mountain shall be cast into the sea, and you believe that you have when you say it, you shall have whatsoever you say. He's telling you right this is what I'm going to be doing. Watch this. Watch this. Verse 12.
Behold, these shall come from far, and lo, these from the north and from the west, and these from the land of Sinir.
So he said, listen, my children are coming from everywhere because Isaiah, Deuteronomy 28:64 said, I will scatter you to all the four corners of the earth. So my children are going to wake up everywhere. They're not going to just be in America. They're everywhere. Watch this. Verse 12, 13.
Sing, O heavens, and be joyful, O earth.
And be joyful.
And be joyful, O earth.
Right.
Break forth into singing, O mountains, for the Lord has comforted his people.
He comforted who?
Comforted his people. And mercy upon his afflicted.
Who is his afflicted?
Isaiah. Said, the Lord has forsaken me, and the Lord has forgotten.
So right now, ladies and gentlemen, with everything that's going on, we're thinking that we've forgotten. But they don't know. Little do you know what's coming. Watch this. Verse 15.
Can a woman forget her second child, that she should not have compassion on the son of her womb?
Right. He said, listen, a woman who has had a baby, she knows she got to take care of that baby. She hasn't forgot about it. He said, but yeah, she might forget, but what?
They might forget, yet I will not forget you.
I will not forget you, Israel. We are not the same. You know I wasn't going to end on Sirach. I had to show you this. But I had to first show you what we had to get rid of in order to get this. Watch this. That's okay, Minister Stone. It'll be the rest of it will be here for you. Watch this. Watch this. Go ahead.
Behold, I have graven thee in the palms of my hand.
Read that again.
Behold, I have graven thee in the palms of my hand. The walls are continued before.
I made you. How can I forget my firstborn, my only begotten Israel? Watch this. Now for a second time, let's go straight to it. Verse 22. Don't set the Most High. Go ahead. Read it again.
Set up my standard to the people, and they shall bring thy sons in their homes, and thy daughters shall be carried upon their shoulders. And kings shall be thy mercy fathers, and kings thy mercy mothers.
Go ahead.
They shall bow down to thee with their face toward the earth, and lift up the dust of thy feet.
Right.
And thou shalt know that I am the Lord, but they shall not be ashamed that wait for me.
We are not the same. And the Gentiles who have done these things are now starting to realize we better take care of them. And he said they will bow down to us. So these guys on the street corners that's doing that, he never told them to do it. He said he will. But not only the Gentiles will do that, give me Revelation 3 and 9, and let me show you who else is going to do that. So you guys can stop worrying about those guys as well. Revelation 3 and 9. Watch this.
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews,
and are not, but do lie. We are not the same. You guys understand? I hope you guys are hearing this, man. We are not the same. You understand? Now back in Isaiah 49, go ahead. Where we at, verse 21? Okay.
But thus saith the Lord, even the captains of the mighty shall be taken away.
No, verse 24.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. shall the prey be taken from the mighty, or the lawful captive delivered. But thus saith the Lord,
Thus saith the Most High,
even the captives of the mighty shall be taken away, and the prey of the terrible shall be delivered. For I will contend with him that contended with thee, and I will save thy children.
And I will save thy children. Go ahead.
And I will feed them that oppress thee with their own flesh.
Read that again.
And I will feed them that oppress thee with their own flesh.
Go ahead.
And they shall be drunken with their own blood. As with sweet wine, and all flesh shall know that I am the Lord.
So they're gonna know what?
All flesh shall know that I, the Lord, am the Savior and the Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob.
We are not the same. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to give all praise, all honor, all glory to Ahaya Bahashem Yeshaya Rawak for everything that took place on here tonight. I know it got a little rough there in the middle, but we had to get you to understand what's at stake here. We are not the same. Therefore, we cannot operate as others operate. Ladies and gentlemen, it's very important that we understand who we are. For those who may watch this video in the days to come and not know, you are not black. You are not an African American. You are from the tribe of Judah for the nation of Israel. And you're not going to be judged like everyone else is judged in this world. You have a totally different standard, a totally different measuring stick, a totally different level of standard and accountability. And it's time that you walk in that. And ladies and gentlemen, this weekend, this Sunday at 3 p.m. at Piney Grove Church of God, we will continue our teaching series entitled Black History According to the Bible. I pray and hope that you guys come out. We're going to have that first session that we did last week available tomorrow. We're going to post that tomorrow. But don't let that be the reason why you don't come out and get this truth on Sunday. We're putting this up because we want you guys to understand what we're bringing out. Going forward, the rest of the videos will not be available until after the teacher series. So we want you to come out, get this information. Everything that we have and present, we will give to you. Once again, that address is 6151 Highway 109 North. Make sure you put that in your GPS. Highway 109 North, Wadesboro, North Carolina, 28170. And we're going to start approximately at 3 p.m. We waited around last week to get some people some time, but we had a lot of people that was on time. We're not going to keep them there. So we're going to start right on time at 3 p.m. So we'd love to see you guys out. If you got anything, as we always say, ladies and gentlemen, continue to be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding to the work of the Most High. I want you to know that we love you and we're praying for you.
This is my job for the rest of my life.
You know what we're going to be doing?
This is the job for the rest of my life.
What you know what I hope you guys will be doing?
This is my job for the rest of my life. The rest of my life.
This is the job for the rest of my life.
Telling the truth. Rest of my life. 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 Yeah. I'm standing my ground, The truth is the way that we don't like connection. Shining the message and killing the messenger. All over words, it must be the truth that I'm telling. These devils are fit, call it they trash. Don't buy the shit that they sell it. They label you bad. They got no one easy to play. Know where they hide. They know that my home ain't where I reside. Who are my kids? I'm speaking to ears. They never do listen. You guys be talking them dicks. Helping the children. Principal mission. I am repeating your trick. I'm done with this story. Get in this story, brother, I'm doing my story. Cause we are the people. I'd rather be better, never that evil. The feelings is mutual. Ain't speaking no evil, examine your leaders. Not doing religion, I'm open with politics. Call it so controversial. They say I'm too woke, but spitting so eloquent, like I'm spitting in curse. Your business is person. Won't charge you for pay. Do what a church. I do what a nurse. I call on the doctor. And wait on my number. Forever I'm home. I live with my shame. That means I was some 100.
As we always say, ladies and gentlemen,
this is my time for the rest of my life.
Always about to the work of the Most High.
This is the time for the rest of my life.
Rock the time, come on, Gasharali.
This is my time for the rest of my life. The rest of my life. This is the job for the rest of my life. Telling the truth. Rest of my life. Telling the most. All of my life. Rest of my life.